what can I change to make this rated R instead of NC-17? And they said, oh, well, we don't do that. We're the ratings board, we just give you a rating, but we don't want to be a censorship board, so we don't tell you what to cut. You just need to go and cut it again and see if you get an R. And I was like, I'm broke. I don't have any money to go cut this again. That costs money. And they're like, well, too bad. So I'm just thinking, well, I guess there's some validity to that argument, but we just had to live with it, and we thought it was ridiculous, but we had no power to fight it. So cut to about 3 years later, and we're making the South Park movie. And now we're with Paramount, and now we've done South Park and whatever, and so we're doing it with a big producer, Scott Rudin. And they come back and say, oh, the ratings board just thought they gave it a NC-17. And I was like, oh, no, really? We gotta cut it again? And Scott goes, oh, hold on. He calls the ratings board and he goes, yeah, what do we need to cut? Oh, if we do that, you'll give it an R? Okay, thanks. So we need to cut this, that, and that. I'm like, oh. and I've come to look, that's how they, with the ratings board has a relationship with the studio. So it is just this stupid give and take of like, well, if we cut this, can we keep that? And I'm like, well, okay, I guess. It's so arbitrary, I can't stand those people. But yeah, basically, if you're not rich and famous and you make a film, and you just have to deal with what they give you. Yeah.
To your knowledge, has Kim Jong-il actually seen Team America?
I've heard a rumor that it is, and I so hope it's true. We have no way to prove it, but I'm going to say yes. Yes, he saw it in Healy. There was about an hour and a half at the very beginning. I don't know if you remember, but it all was coming in McCain at the very beginning. And we were like, oh. And so we're like, what do we do? What do we do? And it was like, we just got to air it anyway and put a thing at the bottom going, you people were supposed to vote for Obama. So it was a gamble. Yeah.
You said that you weren't really interested in ever making a movie again, but being that you've kind of written music for a lot of these different projects, would you think that you would ever maybe soundtrack somebody else's for them? Is that something that would different? No?
I'm kind of a control freak. I don't know. I mean, I kind of have to be doing all of it. We're very kind of secretly working on a Broadway musical right now. And that was sort of my big last fantasy that I wanted to do was do Broadway, and we're getting pretty close. So that's kind of what we've been working on for the last 4 years. Yeah.
What are there to look forward to in the new season?
You tell me. It's really tomorrow. We're going to fly back to LA and go into the office and try to figure out what the first show's going to be. But we have 2 weeks. Yeah.
On a simpler level than a movie, the music is really good in the shows, so more musicals would be cool.
Thanks.
We just saw Mr. Handy's Christmas special. We hadn't seen it, one from a decade
ago.
Oh,
yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
And that great old song with it.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I love doing music. It's obviously, trying to do too much in the show is pretty hard. Even doing a, what was it, last thing was the scene before last, we did a parody of High School Musical. And, just trying to, and the worst part is that you do that and you say, let's do a parody of High School Musical, like, oh, that'll be sweet. Well, now you gotta go watch High School Musical. Then you gotta watch High School Musical 2. Oh no, what am I doing to myself?